If I could, I'd like to call the Board of Commissioners meeting for November 15th, 2016 to order. Please all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tonight, Lord, we give you thanks for the process that happened the last week and the peaceful transition of one of the most powerful governments in the world as we move towards our new elected officials. We invite those who have accepted higher office to give thanks and bless them, watch over them. We welcome Dr. Tompkins to this board in your most holy name. Amen. Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Commissioner Leitner? Here. Walls? Here. Commissioner Rice? Present. Commissioner Duckham? Here. Commissioner Alexander? Present. Commissioner Mahoney?
Here.
Commissioner Palachek?
Here.
Commissioner Elwell?
Here.
Chairman Shotwell?
Here.
All present.
This time, I'd like to entertain a motion for approval of the agenda as written.
So moved.
We have a motion and support.
Thank you very much. So this is a public hearing that's required in the process and amending a brownfield plan. I want to point out that Dan and Samantha Ross, representing the principals for the developer Hills Seamrog, are here in the audience. If you have any questions, they might be able to answer them. Amendment of a brownfield process goes through the County Brownfield Authority, so they have recommended approval to the County Commission. And then it also has gone to the Village of Brooklyn, who approved unanimously a resolution in support of the project. Brownfield plan, as you'll recall, is a tool to help finance development projects. It takes the taxes that are actually paid by the developer, and those are captured, and these are the new taxes as a result of the development. Those are paid by the developer, and then they are dispersed to the entities that have already invested money in eligible environmental activities. So the Jackson County Brownfield Redevelopment Authority will receive some reimbursements, the developer Hills Seamrog, and the Village of Brooklyn for some work that was already done there. The federal historic designation has been received. Just to give you a little bit of project updates in addition to the brownfield plan, federal historic designation has been received for the project. Also, the Village of Brooklyn has established a commercial redevelopment district and approved an exemption certificate under that law that exempts taxes for 12 years, giving some of the upfront money made available to the developer to complete some of the environmental costs for the project. It's the old Irish Mill project. I guess I didn't point that out. And I'd be happy to answer any questions. I know this is public hearing, but I will be here until your action if you have any questions. Thank you.
Before you walk away, any commissioners, do you have questions of Amy on this project, or where it's located, or how we've gotten to where we're at now versus where we were 6 or 8 years ago when we first started this project? Okay, seeing none, then I'll open the public comment time now with the public hearing to the public.
Thank you.
If you'd like to speak, please step forward and identify yourself to speak about just the brownfield redevelopment project. Any public comment? Seeing none, we're going to close the public hearing at this time and move on our agenda to public comment. Each individual, under public comment guidelines, each individual has to state their name and have 5 minutes to address the board. You may only address the board once under the public comment opportunity and may not yield your time to others. Board members will not debate nor answer questions at this time. This is the first opportunity for public comment.
Peter Blumworth, I wanted to offer congratulations to everyone here who stood for public office. Julie, for your victory in the 64th District. Congratulations on going up to Lansing. All the county commissioners who stood for re-election who were opposed and prevailed, and then, of course, the county commissioners who didn't face anyone in their election. I did want to point out that I saw in a newspaper article about John Palazek, Commissioner Palazek, that he voted for Mitt Romney in 2012. So he probably voted for Donald Trump in this election. Maybe he should move over to the Republican Party. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Any other public comment? Public comment is now closed. We have no special meetings of standing committees. At this time, we arrived at the minutes from the October 18th, 2016 annual meeting for the Board of Commissioners. Entertain a motion to approve as written. We have a motion and support. Is there any corrections to the minutes? Deletions? Seeing none, all in favor? Do you have the ready? Yes. Madam Clerk, would you post the vote?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. The minutes are passed unanimously. At this time, we've arrived at the consent agenda. Entertain a motion for the consent agenda. We have a motion and support. Any items for removal? Commissioner Alwell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It'll be for just a straight removal of item number 9B as in boy, not for further action. It should not have been here. Just a flat removal.
Then has a procedural move. What we will do is we'll refer that back to committee under the consent agenda. Any other items? Ready to post the vote? Madam Clerk, would you post the vote? And move to the consent agenda as presented and amended.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
The consent agenda at this time is passed unanimously. We've arrived now at standing committees report, affairs and agencies chaired by Commissioner David Elwell. Commissioner Elwell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First up, we have appointments, a number of committees. The first committee is the Region 2 Area Agency on Aging. It's a committee we had 2 applicants for, and the committee recommended Debbie Eccleton, or Deborah, I guess officially, Eccleton.
Entertain any nominations from the floor? Hearing none. All in favor of Deborah Eccleton, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same sign. Deborah Eccleton is passed. Commissioner Elwell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Next is the Farmland Preservation Committee. It's 1 local natural resources rep. Kenny Price is the current member applicant and the recommendation from committee.
Any nominations from the floor? Seeing nor hearing none, all in favor of Kenny Price as the designee, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing none, duly carried. Commissioner Elwell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Next is the Department on Aging Advisory Council. We have 2 open seats. One's a vacant one and one currently held by Tim Burns. There were no applicants for that and no recommendations from committee. Also, we have the Land Bank Authority. It's a construction rep. Kevin Cunningham is a current member. No applicants, no recommendations. Same thing with the Jackson Traffic Safety Program and engineering rep. It's vacant, Joe Michalski's old seat, and the administrator assures me that next month we'll have somebody there to look at. And then lastly, the Jackson County Planning Commission is 1 commissioner. Carl Rice is a former or current member. The applicant is John Polacek, and he's also the recommendation from committee.
Any other commissioners like to stand for this seat? Hearing none, all in favor of John Polacek serving on the Jackson County Planning Commission, please say aye. Those opposed, duly carried. Commissioner Elwell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. That's all 4 appointments. And next is the Enterprise Group's second amendment to the Brownfield Plan 221 for Mill Street, and it will be for approval of the resolution for the amended plan.
Do I consider that a motion?
It is.
Thank you. We have a motion and support. Is there any questions from commissioners? Are you ready? Madam Clerk, could you please post the vote?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
The resolution is passed unanimously. Commissioner Elwell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Now procedurally, did you move 9B to this?
No, sir.
Okay, you just
Moved it
completely
back to
pulled it.
committee.
Very good. That's all to report. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Standing Committee Human Services, chaired by Commissioner Julie Alexander. Commissioner Alexander.
Mr. Chair, Standing Committee has no business to bring before the board this evening.
Thank you. Standing Committee Personnel and Finance, chaired by Vice Chairman Phil Duckham. Commissioner Duckham.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have no business to conduct this evening.
Thank you. The Board of Commissioners, do you have any unfinished business you'd like to bring up at this time? Seeing nor hearing none, we move on to new business. Item 17A, the Administrator Controller Employment Agreement. Entertain a motion, please.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the amendments to the Administrator's Employment Agreement.
We have a motion and second. Any commissioner comments? Can you post the vote? Polacek. Madam Clerk, could you please post the vote?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Bump him. Motion passed unanimously. We have no other items under new business. We've arrived at public comment for the second time. Each individual has an opportunity under public comment to please state their name. You have 3 minutes to address the Board of Commissioners. You may only address the board once under this public comment opportunity and may not yield your time to others. Board members will not debate nor answer questions at this time. This is the second opportunity for public comment.
Good evening. I reached out informally to you folks before the meeting. My name's Glenn Remington, and I've decided to put my hat in the ring for the Jackson County Conservation District. It's not a county agency, it's a state thing, but with my prior service with the Upper Grand River Watershed Alliance and the Solid Waste Update Committee, I was hopeful that you folks would be willing to support my nominating petition. And if, after the meeting, if we could have a minute, I'd like to share that with you and my goals for this position. Some of you folks I was able to meet with already, so there's only a few of you folks that I would need just a few minutes. Thank you very much.
Any other public comment? We've arrived at commissioner comments. Any commissioner comments? Commissioner Leitner.
I would just like to remind everybody that Night Lights is going to start up at the fairgrounds on November 24th. On the 23rd, there's a 5K walk run in the evening also. And then December 2nd, we'll start the Winter Wonderland in the American One Event Center as well. And I just want to say I hope everybody has a happy Thanksgiving.
Commissioner Rice.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to make a comment in regards to our Administrator Controller, Mike Overton. I'm saying this now because we have a full board here, and this way I won't have to say it to each individual. But quite frankly, this is the first time I've ever approved call it a raise, salary increase, what you want, for Mr. Overton. And because of the compensation study we did at Jackson County, we are in a process of doing something that is completely necessary, and that is bringing our county employees to a place that they deserve, at least mid-range. It's going to take some time, and obviously we have some budget. Budget struggles, but this is a first step to addressing all of our county employees, and I just. For me, this was an easy vote because, again, it's a first step for Mr. Overton, but it's a first step for all our county employees as far as fairly compensating them for the hard work they do. That's it.
Any other commissioner comments? Commissioner comments is now closed. We have no closed session. Entertain a motion for adjournment. Support? All in favor, please say aye. Let it be noted it passed unanimously. We are adjourned.